Buying a home isn't just about the price anymore. It's about whether you're able to insure it, finance it, and resell it later. And I'm talking about even brand new homes that are already failing this test. Across the country, buyers are discovering that the real danger isn't overpaying for a home. It's buying a home that becomes impossible to resell. In this video, I'm sharing 10 types of homes that are basically becoming worthless due to these reasons. And I'm going to share with you what every smart buyer needs to know and to watch out for, because making a mistake could cost them thousands. Let's get started. For years, the biggest fear for buyers was paying too much for a home. But today, that bigger risk is something completely different. It's buying a home that can't get normal financing. It's extremely expensive or impossible to insure, or the house comes with hidden costs that'll kill the next buyer's interest. Because when normal buyers disappear, the value disappears right along with them. And that's exactly what's happening with these certain types of homes right now. So to be clear, when I'm saying worthless, I'm not saying the home is going to be worth $0. I'm talking about homes that will be functionally harder to sell than normal finance buyer. So that's the distinction that matters a lot. So number one, Florida beachfront condos that were built before 1996. After the Surfside condo collapse, Florida implemented mandatory structural audits on all buildings taller than 3 stories that were built before 96. These condos have taken a serious hit, dropped significantly in value, and insurance costs have come through the roof. Lenders are becoming skeptical about giving someone a mortgage to buy one of these, and when financing options disappear, these properties become cash-only purchases. And the special assessments on top of that, I have read stories where HOAs slapped homeowners with assessments of tens of thousands of dollars, some reaching into 6 figures. That is money that you owe on top of your mortgage, on top of your insurance, and on top of your HOA dues. And now add one more layer. Many of these older buildings are also failing recertification inspections entirely, meaning the entire building gets condemned before the individual owners can sell. You can't sell it and you can't legally occupy it. So number 2 is overbuilt suburbs in Austin, Texas. Austin saw a massive pandemic boom that has now softened. Remote work dried up, tech layoffs hit hard, and demand has cooled significantly. People who own homes in these suburbs are finding resale very challenging because builders are still building and offering rate buy downs and incentives that make new construction attractive. On top of that, some of these subdivisions were built in low-lying areas with a flood risk and rising property taxes that have pushed some homeowners on the verge of foreclosure. And here's the additional problem that no one is speaking about. The resale pool in Austin has gotten so saturated that average days on market has stretched dramatically, meaning that sellers are sitting, reducing prices, and still not finding those buyers. Supply is out-targeted the demand. So that is a big problem. And number 3 is new construction in flood zone areas in Nashville. Nashville's pandemic boom led builders to develop homes in vulnerable flood-prone areas. Drainage failures, insurance costs surged, and the oversupply of these homes now sitting on the market, equity has been a race for these homeowners who built during the peak. And here's one more thing. Some of these neighborhoods are now being flagged by FEMA for updated flood zone reclassifications, which means that buyers who weren't previously required to carry flood insurance now are. That's an added monthly cost that shows up at closing and can kill the deal. Buyers walk, then sellers get stuck. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, where should I actually be buying? Stick around, because at the very end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why Tulsa, Oklahoma is beating every single one of these markets right now. And if you want to talk to someone who actually knows this market inside and out, my name is Jessica Ford. I'm a real estate agent right here in the Tulsa metro area, and I would love to help you. My information is on the screen right now. Reach out and let's talk. So let's hop back into number 4. Those are those starter homes that are in San Antonio, Texas. The sentiment was good. Affordable starter homes for working families. But the rapid building pace combined with the local soil conditions and extreme heat led to foundation problems on a widespread scale. These inventory is rising, HOA fees are climbing, and the costs are going up, so homeowners are owing more than their mortgage. On top of that, San Antonio's property tax rates are among the highest in Texas, which is already high for property tax in that state. So you've got cracked foundation, rising HOA, expensive insurance, and property tax bill that makes the total monthly costs unaffordable for the next buyer to come in. Then we have number 5, Fort Lauderdale waterfront bungalows. Mandatory flood coverage, erosion concerns, seawall repairs, extremely expensive to own. So the carrying cost on one of these properties is unsustainable for the average buyer, and no one wants to deal with all of that. And here's what makes it even worse. Seawall replacement alone can run $1,000 to $1,500 per linear foot. A modest waterfront lot with 50 feet of seawall, that's potentially a $75,000 repair bill that a buyer sees coming before they even make an offer. They don't offer, the home sits, and the value erodes further. Then number 6 is California cabins in wildfire zones. Even fire-resistant cabins built in those zones can escape the underlying problem. Buyers don't want to live there. California has an insurance crisis that makes it almost impossible to insure these homes. Without insurance, there's no financing. Without financing, your buyer pool collapses to cash only. And now add this. California's FAIR plan is the state insurance that has dramatically raised rates and reduced their coverage. So even if you can get insured, you're paying more for less coverage on a home that is in a high risk zone. So that's not a home, it's a liability. Then number 7, suburban McMansions in Denver, Colorado. Colorado's water shortage is real and growing. The state is implementing water restrictions, and these large homes require heavy water usage. Water costs are climbing and will continue to climb. Projections show annual shortfalls of 230 to 740,000 acre feet by 2050. That gap is going to hit homeowners directly in their utility bills and their ability to sell. And here's the additional hit. Some Colorado municipalities are now restricting new water taps entirely, which is slowing new development, but also creating uncertainty about long-term water access existing in these larger homes. So a large house with a beautifully landscaped yard in a restricted county is not a luxury asset, it's a problem. And if any of this is making you want to reconsider where you're buying, good. That's exactly the point. I'm Jessica Ford, a real estate agent in the Tulsa metro area, and I want you to hear me clearly. There is a market right now where none of these problems exist. Stay with me until the end because I'm going to break down exactly why Tulsa is one of the smartest real estate decisions in the country right now. My contact information is on the screen. Don't hesitate to reach out. Then number 8 is smart homes. Technology becomes obsolete fast. A smart home you bought 3 years ago with integrative systems, proprietary hubs, and custom wiring is already a liability to the next buyer. They're not inheriting a feature, they're inheriting a retrofitting project. Cybersecurity risks, higher energy consumption, and the cost of replacing outdated systems make these hard to resell. On top of that, some smart home systems are tied to subscription services, and when that company goes under or discontinues that product, the entire system becomes a glorified paperweight. Buyers, do your homework now. That proprietary tech may be something they walk away from. Number 9, revitalized row homes in Baltimore. The revitalization effort is commendable, but buyers are discovering what the renovations were cosmetic while the infrastructure remained critically outdated. Lead pipes, outdated wiring, expensive renovations pass from one buyer to the next, and Baltimore's crime stigma hasn't softened to offset those carrying costs. So buyers aren't interested. And here's one more layer. Baltimore's city property tax rate is more than double the national average. You've got renovated home with hidden infrastructure problems in a market with crime concerns carrying one of the highest property tax burdens in the mid-Atlantic. That's 3 separate reasons a buyer walks away before they even get to the home inspection. And we made it to number 10, coastal Houston subdivisions built on reclaimed swampland. Foundation movement, flooding, drainage failures, insurance denials, HOA assessments, appraisals that are failing, homeowners underwater on their mortgages, and buyers will not touch these, and they shouldn't. And here's the final blow. Harris County flood control data shows that some of these subdivisions have flooded multiple times in the past decade. 3, 4, 5 flood events, not once, repeatedly. Flood insurance in this area is running thousands of dollars annually, and FEMA's updated flood maps are continuing to expand these high-risk zones, meaning more homes are being reclassified after the purchase. You buy out of the flood zone and then you wake up one day and you're in the flood zone. So when you're looking at these homes, the comps do matter, but can you insure it? Is the structure sound? What is the environmental exposure? And what does the resale pool actually look like? These are questions that you need to be asking before making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. Now let's talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, because after everything that I just walked you through, you deserve to hear about a market that isn't carrying any of these problems. Here's why Tulsa stands out compared to every single state and city that I just mentioned. So, versus Florida, no seawall repairs, no mandatory flood coverage on every single property, no condo collapse audits, no 6-figure HOA assessments. And where Tulsa's HOA do exist, it's manageable, it's insurable, and we have multiple carriers here. Versus San Antonio and Austin, Tulsa is not overbuilt. We're not sitting on a glut of builder inventory with rate buydowns that are undercutting your resale value, and our property taxes are significantly lower than Texas. Oklahoma has no state income tax on Social Security and one of the lowest overall tax burdens in the region. Now, versus Nashville, Tulsa's development has not pushed builders into flood-prone land grabs. Our zoning and geography keep the vast majority of residential inventory out of high-risk areas. You're not dealing with a surprise drainage crisis that's eroding overnight. Versus California, there are no wildfire zones in Tulsa. Insurance companies are not fleeing this market, and you can get comprehensive homeowners insurance here without fighting the state's Insure of last resort for a policy that barely covers anything. And versus Colorado, Tulsa sits on the Arkansas River watershed. We're not in a drought crisis. We're not implementing water restrictions that make owning a large home financially punishing, and water is not selling liability here. So versus Baltimore, Tulsa's revitalization efforts, particularly in the downtown quarters, are backed by infrastructure, cosmetic renovations, and our crime in residential areas are not deterring buyers away. Baltimore's stigma continues to. So versus Houston, Tulsa is not built on reclaimed swampland. We don't have foundation instability, repeated flooding, or insurance denial crisis those homeowners are dealing with. And versus the smart home problem everywhere, this one's simple. A well-built, traditionally constructed home in Tulsa with solid bones, good school district, and a price point that pencils out for finance buyers is going to be easier to resell 5 years from now than a tech-heavy, overpriced property in any of those other markets. The bottom line, in Tulsa, the median home prices are still accessible. The job market is diversified and growing. The cost of living is among the lowest in the country, and insurance is available and affordable. Property taxes are reasonable, and inventory is balanced, meaning if you buy smart right now, you have a real shot at building equity without a structural, environmental, or financial landmines I just spent this entire video walking you through. So if you are serious about buying in the Tulsa Metro, or if you've been thinking about relocating and want to know what your dollar will actually get you in this market, I want to talk to you. My name is Jessica Ford, and I'm a real estate agent right here in the Tulsa metro area, and this is my market. I know it, I live it, and I love it. I'll make sure that you do not make a $300,000 mistake that you could have avoided. My contact information is on the screen. Reach out. Let's get you into the right home. And if you want a head start before we talk, I put together a relocation guide with everything that you need to know about moving to Tulsa. The link is in the description below. Grab it. It's free and it will save you a ton of time. And until next time, I hope to see you around town.